My name is Benno Kappers. I work in Napier for the Department of Conservation. My manager is in Christchurch. I work a lot in Wellington, obviously to link in with other projects. And I work for the NIMS project as it were. So what I'm going to talk about now is about a project that we've been running now for a couple of years, which is the Biodiversity Projects Database. And it's a component of NIMS, that Natural Heritage Management System. Just one module, but quite an important one. It's a TIFBIS project, thank you very much. And with TIFBIS, its one criteria is that you need to extend to the communities. And this is all about extending to the communities and building an overview of what sort of biodiversity projects are going on in the country. A lot of regional council and communities do biodiversity work and would like to, as an organisation, to have an overview of what work is going on in the country for several reasons, to provide systems for methodologies and standards in order how to carry out the work according to best practice, as well as an interest in the information that comes out of that work. So what the department asked TIFBIS was like whether there was funds for setting up a metadata database. About biodiversity projects in the country, and that work is, we've been working on that now for a couple of years. So the first step that we did in the department, so we started looking in the Department of Conservation first, is to get our house in order, as it were, is finding out what sort of biodiversity projects, inventory and monitoring projects mainly, were carried out and are still being carried out in the department. So there was a historic component to that as well. The output of that was that there was like numerous, 2,000, was it? 2,000 inventory and monitoring projects for a variety of taxa identified. So as an output there, we got a database requirement, as it were. This is like what sort of consistency of information is in this data, and then we built basically a database which is in the DoC environment, so it's in the Department of Conservation's application system called Biodiversity Projects Database. So the next step for us was to sort of like entering the information in the database itself, and that is currently going on, and we're verifying with the owners of the project the quality of the information captured over here, and that was about 3-4 years ago. So in the meantime, you know, a few updates are required to do that, and we're working on that. Because of the TIFBIS requirement, we have now also a web application that will be posted on the DoC website. It's in the development environment in the Department of Conservation at the moment. It's being tested internally and externally using a usability testing. So like, how well does it work? Does it look okay? Is it easy to use? Do I get out what I want? So we've had a few people in, and a few people were in the room here were part of it. That is the website application. I expected sort of like about a month and a half we'll be able to launch that. A month and a half, couple of months, we'll be able to launch that. So that allows us to publish the work that we are doing in the country with regard to inventory and monitoring. Won't be 2,000 records because we're going iteratively through our records. So we're probably looking at about 200 to 500 projects at the moment, and we're building through our work. So the second phase, by publishing it, what follows is basically an invitation of other organizations and regional councils, community organizations who do inventory and monitoring work or biodiversity projects. And I was driving through Palmerston North, through the gorge, and there's a big sign that says like, gorge project going on, you know, biodiversity or restoration project, and that needs to go in here. You know, like, and then suddenly in the data itself, you have a website where that information is stored. You know, you can get straight to it. So the objective, as it were, is that you put your project on the board, and you can basically find in there the metadata is what is generally being done, how it's being done, and who to contact. You know, and then also what sort of data do you collect, you know, and what format is it? So if we analyze that data, and I'm sure we'll be able to publish some results out of that over time, is that allows us then to break down biodiversity projects in several categories with several names associated who does that work. And voila, here you've got a forum of people who basically are interested in doing the same work. And you know, that was the objective of putting that on the board, you know, in the country. So that's roughly what you know, we're working with regard to a metadata database, and you had a metadatabase as well. Was it freshwater?
Yeah, as a big rule,
Yep.
data sets that you eventually will be able to ownership of.
Okay, all right. And it's like there's a lot of work going on, but what we want to try to create is for biodiversity project is a one-stop shop that we can share. And at the moment it's based in a doc environment, but in the future I believe that we will, you know, for people who want to manage their own metadata, you know, we should be able to provide access, you know, so that the ownership and the updating of the metadata itself rests with the owners of the projects. You know, that's how I see things evolve. Thank you. Okay, that was quick, wasn't it?